Yo, it's your boy Brooklyn McLean, and we back. Quote number 18 from my book of favorite quotes. It's the month of March, the month that Biggie died, so I'm feeling a little big-ish. And, oh, wait for it. Spread love, baby. New t-shirt saying shameless plug. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. Yeah, that's what we do. LifeStrategyMeetup.com, baby. Come on. Raising awareness, raising consciousness, having fun. Having fun as we learn, as we grow, as we evolve. Quote number 18, my book of favorite quotes, a 30-day transformation to becoming a better you. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. Number 18, yesterday's the past, tomorrow's the future, but today is the present. That's why they call it a gift. Yesterday's the past, tomorrow's the future, but today is the present. That's why they call it a gift. By Bill Keane. Okay, let's read. This quote makes me think of progress and moving forward because there was a time for many years I didn't. I was stuck in the past. I didn't care about today, and I didn't think I had a future. As a child, I was so full of joy and anticipation for my life and what was to come. Then one day, tragedy came along and changed my life forever. My father died of a heart attack, and my brother was sent to prison all within a year of each other. And although in theory my life moved forward, mentally I was stuck in thinking what might have been and what could have been had my family and my life stayed on the path that it was on. I went from having hopes and dreams to cursing out the sun for shining in my face. I became angry, depressed, bitter, and careless. I stayed there for close to 10 years because although it was painful to think about, it became a badge of honor to sit in it and let it fester. Those feelings became my new normal. It affected everything. My personality, my relationships, my drive, and my determination were gone. I didn't want to do anything but be angry about the past. So it consumed my present every day, just stuck. My future was living in the past and what that future should have been. I could go on, but I realize now there's no use beating the drum of old hurts and pains when the very next moment is an opportunity to make a better feeling choice. There still was buried deep inside of me that person that dreamed and wanted to accomplish things. I just needed to figure out how to get back there. I fortunately found a group of friends who loved life, and I was attracted to that. They helped by being an example of what I used to be. The real turning point was I literally got physically and emotionally tired of carrying the weight of the past around on my shoulders. So one day I prayed and decided to put it down. The armor became too heavy to carry. What I did next was critical. I forgave myself for being the way I was for so long. I began to think of ways I could resolve the feelings I carried around. It just so happened to be Christmas time, so I did something I never did before. I wrote Christmas cards to my family and friends wanting to express my love and gratitude for them. At that time, I had been having a rough time accepting my mom's new husband. He and I had been a constant source of friction, mainly because of what he represented to me. Every time I looked at him, I was reminded that my dad was dead. His mere presence affirmed that fact, and I disliked him for it. So when I wrote the Christmas card to my mom, I decided to include her husband in it and thanked him for looking after my mom. I had no idea the effect it would have. When my mom read it, she burst into tears. My mom's husband read it and thanked me for acknowledging it. Instantly, I felt better, freer, and lighter. I also realized just doing that was a great start, but more work was needed to recapture the desire I had to propel me forward. When I got home that evening feeling pretty good about myself, I wondered where else I needed to make amends. I began to call ex-girlfriends, friends I had a rift with, and apologize to everyone for any behavior on my part that caused them distress. I was on a roll. The night ended with me having a good cry to purge myself of all those negative emotions. But I didn't stop there. I read countless books, watched countless videos, listened to countless audios, and talked to countless people about their experiences. I came to understand that the experiences I went through were just teaching tools. They were not hitching posts for me to get stuck to, but guideposts there to teach and guide me to understand life. I began to apply the information I acquired. I designed a new future and understood that the future is just a series of right nows. Right now is all that we truly have. If I can control how I feel right now, then my future is predictable. It will look like how I feel right now, and I love that I can make that choice. So I ask you, in what areas are you stuck? Love, job, family? Take out a piece of paper and write down how you feel about it and why. Then decide if it's worth staying stuck in the past, or is it better to be present in the now, anxiously awaiting a joyous future. If you decide that to be the case, then also write down what you desire and begin to focus only on that. No longer focusing on what you don't want, but only focusing on what you do want. Throw away the piece of paper with the old hurts and pains from the past in the trash. Every day from now on, affirm only what you want in the present, as it will become your future. Okay? That's number 18. Yesterday's the past, tomorrow's the future, but today is the present. That's why they call it a gift. Okay, let's reflect on that. This was a big quote for me when I came across this, because I was somebody who was so stuck in the past. As I mentioned in the reading, literally my life changed overnight with the passing of my father. So I, as a kid, you don't really know struggle. You don't know pain. Like it's kind of surface, because just our minds as children can't really wrap around the idea of forever. So when my father passed away, like, they talk about the 5 stages of grief. Like, it took a while to process the idea of somebody never coming back. Like, you're never going to see them, talk to them, touch them, smell them, love them, be angry at them ever again. Right? It takes time. And then couple that with some unfortunate events that happened with my brother within that year, and 2 of the most important men in my life were gone. So as a teenager, coming into manhood, trying to figure out how to be a man with no, those 2 prominent role models gone. So I was angry. Oh, I was so angry. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was so angry. Just kind of on autopilot, but just angry, cursing God. Like I mentioned in the book, just, mad at the sun for shining. Like, I just, angry and pissed off, and, feeling victimized and feeling like life is unfair. And, it just disconnected me from any dream or any desire, any wish that I ever had. It was gone, because I associated it with those people. But life moves on. So I'm living, but I'm not really living, because now I'm so afraid of missing out on something because of, the death of my father. So I wouldn't take trips. Only time I would leave the city or the state was for work, and be racing to get back, because, what if something happens to somebody that I love? Like, I want to be there. And it took about 10 years, man. Like, from sitting in, my apartment with the shades drawn all day, just like, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? To, to the point where getting sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and then deciding to do something. Um, so what I did was, like I mentioned in the book, because I literally got physically tired of being angry, of pushing people away, of being emotionally shut down. Like, I just got tired. And, my mom had remarried, and, it was a lot of friction between me and her new husband, and it wasn't even him. You know what I mean? And it took time to understand that, but it wasn't even him. It was just what he represented. And literally looking at him every single day was a constant reminder that my father was no longer present on this earth. So it was a tough situation for everybody, me and him, because he can't help that what happened. He didn't cause my father's death. You know what I mean? So he's he's innocent in this, but it's just what he represented, right? So I just had a major problem, and I finally just got tired. I got tired. I had a good talk with my brother, who was away, and he basically, in his own way, which is very short and to the point, was like, move on with your life, get over it. Dad is gone, I'm not there, and you need to start living. And so I took that advice and went home. That around that time, found me, a new spot to live in, and Christmas came around and didn't have a lot of money. Wasn't really feeling Christmas, in the Christmas spirit. So I just like, I'm gonna do Christmas cards, and I was writing down, to the people that I cared about, how I felt about them, and I wrote one to my mother and to her husband, and you know, their response to it was nothing I imagined or expected, and it almost like it relieved me of being angry, like I didn't have to be angry no more. So I literally felt a weight being lifted off my shoulders. And so I went and sat down in the living room and I was thinking, wow, like I feel lighter. And I wonder how to prolong this feeling. Like I want to release. So I did go home that evening and call a bunch of people and apologize for things that I remember doing, things that people said I did that I didn't remember. Um, but I was just like trying to release all of it, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And I sat down to eat, and I just started crying, and wasn't really sure why, but the conclusion I came up with was it was my body's way of like, okay, I know you think you're done, but you're not. And it was just purging whatever was left, releasing all that gook. Because believe it or not, I mean, we most of us have heard of physical constipation, but a lot of times we can be emotionally constipated, and we just need to release. Um, so anger, is not a bad emotion. It's necessary. It's human nature to be angry. It's, do you want to get stuck in that? Do you want to get stuck in feeling depressed, anxious, stressed, worried, angry, like hateful? Like, do you want to stay stuck there, or experience it, um, break it down, see why you're feeling that way, and then move out of that feeling towards better feeling emotions, which are love, joy, happiness, generosity, gratitude, faith, hope. You know what I mean? So um, that's what I was able to do. That took me 10 years. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like it was an overnight deal. So when people say to me, because a buddy of mine passed away not too long ago, how were you able to move through it so quickly? It's like, man, I've had practice. So I'm not telling anybody not to go through your process. Just when they look at me and go, well, how are you handling it the way you do? And I'm like, well, this is why. Like, I've had some experience with pain and feeling abandoned and, all that stuff. Um, and so, yeah, I understand that the past isn't designed for us to stay there. And I talked about, me using the past as a hitching post. You know what I mean? Like you put your rope and you hitch yourself to this post, and I'm just gonna stay here. And I realize now that things that happened to us in the past aren't designed to keep us there. They're actually guideposts. So we're moving right along our road, and then something happens, and it's there to guide us to the next thing. So happiness, joy, pain, depression, like all of this stuff, these things are on our path towards whatever. And nothing is there for us to stay stuck, right? It's experience it, process it, feel it, and then move on to the next occurrence. Where I personally got stuck for a long time. And I had to forgive myself because, the initial thought is, man, I wasted so much time being angry. But it was like it was necessary. You guys wouldn't see the person that's sitting in front of you without those experiences. It was those experiences that drove me to try to figure out, why am I here? Why are we here? What is this about? What is life? What is the universe? Like, just, it's got to be more to life than what we're doing, just paying bills and rent and, hanging out at the club and for as a guy chasing girls and trying to make, you know what I mean? Like, all of those things are a part of it, but that's not the only reason why we're here. And those experiences are what drove me to that. So, and looking back, I'm grateful now. As crazy as that might sound, I'm grateful for all those hurtful experiences because I wouldn't be this person today. Now, on the flip side, if I had it to do over again, I would choose a different experience. I would choose to have my father here, to have my brother here, even if I'm not the same person I am today, because it would just be a different experience to me. But I embrace those experiences in this lifetime because I like who I am today, and I like where I'm going as a person. So yeah, man, today is all we really have right now in the present moment, and it's great that we look at presents like gifts. So the present is actually a gift because this is all we have. We can't do nothing about yesterday, and we don't want to get so far ahead that we don't appreciate right now. When right now is what predicts the future. Because every second that goes by is a future moment, a future moment, a future moment. So if I can feel good right now and carry that emotion to the next feeling, that's my future. So I can predict my future based on how I feel right now. I hope that makes sense. I can predict my future based on how I feel right now because right now is just a series of nows which leads us to the future. The past is not designed for us to be stuck. It's not a brake system. It's not a braking system that's supposed to halt your car, right? We can look at the past as that, or we can look at the past as jet fuel that we're going to use to propel us forward into right now and on our way to the future. So the last thing I want to say is whatever subject that you're feeling about anything, that you might be feeling stuck in the past, or even aside from the quote, if you're just not really sure about what's going on with any subject in your life, I encourage you to take out a piece of paper. It's what I did about any and every subject that I had a feeling about. And I truly wrote down what I thought about it. I didn't judge what I had to say. I just wrote it down. A lot of stuff I look and go, wow, I can't believe that that's what I think about that. And then I wrote down what I wanted it to look like. Right? All that good stuff, and if I didn't know it myself, then I would look at other people that were doing it the way I wished it was done for me, and that was another list. And I just looked to compare the list to go, okay, am I what I'm saying I want it to look like? And the truth was, it wasn't looking that way. So my work was to try to close that gap and try to become what I was saying I wanted to see. So I tore off the quote-unquote negative beliefs, threw them in the trash, and I only focused on what I needed to become. And that's the beauty of this existence is we can have more than what we have because we can become more than what we are. And you've heard that before. So I'm going to end this one. Quote number 18 is, yesterday's the past, tomorrow's the future, but today is the present. That's why they call it a gift, by Bill Keane. Okay? My book of favorite quotes, it's available on lifestrategymeetup.com. That's all one word, or amazon.com. My little spread love t-shirts, and then the other ones you guys saw, self-love t-shirts, available if you want to support and donate to the cause. As always, 10% of the proceeds go to buying supplies and socks, for the homeless, and toothbrushes and soap and toothpaste and, you know, things like that. Things that we, at least I know, I take for granted a lot of times. So it's your boy Brooklyn McGlynn. If you like, what a lot of you do, but for those of you this might be new to, if you like any of this information, please comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and share with somebody, man. Let's keep growing. Let's keep being prosperous. Peace out.